adorable and cringy and fun. It was
Oh,
cool.
What do you got there?
The RGB's coming out.
Dave, you can you can maybe give him a history about this.
Yeah. So that's Rum del Barrilito. It's the finest rum in the entire world. It's distilled in a distillery in Puerto Rico that's been doing it since like 1820. And my dad's family's from Puerto Rico, so we've been buying it for years, generations. And I brought some back for my last trip for Cam as a little birthday present.
Nice.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my... Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my...
Hey,
Hi.
what are we brought to you by?
You tell me.
Oh, well, Bacon Sweat Podcast is brought to you by drinkwildbills.com, grillyourassoff.com, and poddex.com, where if you use the promo code BACON,
You can get 10% off.
No.
Oh, sorry. Because everything is better with bacon.
you get 10% off your complete order.
Miss my cue.
What else are we...
Well, I could tell you from
Manscaped.
experience right now. We got a fan on down here. It's a little hot in here, but you know what's not hot right now? You know what's not hot right now? You know what's not uncomfortable right now? The Bellas. The Bellas, the twins, the balls.
Yes.
You know why? Manscaped. Manscaped. Because I keep it tight, I keep it shiny, I keep it clean. How about you?
Yeah, me too. And if you use the promo code BACONPOD...
Yeah, you can get the 20% off your entire order. That's 10%.
And
10% each ball.
And
Free shipping.
Free shipping.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jimsy, how's things with you?
Things are good with me, man. I was just saying that my balls are comfortable.
We're
which is
back
good.
in the danger room,
We're
which
back
is
in the
great.
danger room.
You know, like it was fun being out and in the world.
We're about to be out in the world again.
Yeah. Well,
gonna
we're
be fun.
taping this before we do the. So
We were
what thing,
just
and
out
we
in the
might
world
just-
again.
Yeah. But yeah,
We're in the future.
It's great to be in the future here in the danger room. It's
I like
nice. It's comfortable. We're getting to warm weather.
it. So happy for warm weather.
Yeah, fucking
Dude.
May.
Dude, as soon as it gets even if it's like 71, when it's above 70, my whole being is just filled with joy. Just so much more enjoyment in life.
Yeah, Jen today was just like, I want to do something. I was like, well, name it and let's go do it.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I want to go to the beach. And I was like, okay. She's like, what? It's like, yeah, I'm fine with going out
Yeah.
into the world.
It's nice out.
It's okay out.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It doesn't
that's
suck.
fine. So, yeah, things. Also, other things that don't suck.
Yeah, I was
is
just gonna say.
the band
You know
that
what
we
else
have
doesn't
on
suck?
tonight or
Yes.
today.
Right now.
Right now, depending on when you're listening to this, Dear Spring.
DEAR.
DEAR. Spring.
Is that really that big of a, like, do people really think deer the animal right away?
So I've tagged them in a few posts, like, because we do the New Music Friday posts
Yeah.
on the social media, and I've gone immediately to DEER for some
Really?
in my head.
I don't
like,
know.
but like I correct it right away. I never like
Yeah,
I never
yeah.
let it roll.
I
but
get it, but even
DER.
they said that that's common,
Yeah.
and it's funny because I never thought that at all. I immediately thought like a letter, like and maybe I don't know. I don't even know why. I don't even know why that is. But it surprised me to think like, oh, when people hear Deer Spring, they think like hunting, like, which okay, maybe
Sure.
yeah, that works. But you're not a hunter.
No, I'm not a hunter at all.
Yeah.
I like Bambi.
I like Bambi.
But I will say this, again, we said they don't suck. If you are into music
Yeah,
that is of the rock genre,
that is good.
that is good, check them out. Because
Not only do they not suck, they're pretty great.
they hit so many different spots. We talked about it on the episode. You know, they've got a lot of Thrice. They've got some 4 Years Strong in there. They've got some like post-hardcore stuff,
But melody and
hooks and harmonies, and it's a great band.
Yes.
I really thoroughly enjoy their music.
Now, this is...
Becky actually pitched us them, and
Who's Becky?
Becky from Big Picture Media, who's going to be on the next show.
Yes.
She's a PR agent. She pitched us them, and it was an informal one because that's kind of the thing that we have with a lot of these PR agents is like, hey, listen, just like say, hey, this band would be really cool.
Yeah, do you like a band? Send them
like, send me their. Do they have links on Spotify? Cool. Just like send me them. And I listened to them immediately on Spotify, and I was
hit
like,
me up immediately too.
Oh shit! These guys are great.
Yeah.
And we're gonna book them on the show, and here we are.
They're booked on the show.
Several weeks later, booked on the show, doing an episode with us. All 4 members are there, and
now at the time that you're listening to this,
yeah,
their new record is out. Moments is
right.
out now. It is not out as far as where we are right now, talking and about
Correct.
to do the interview. So we haven't heard the record. We've only heard their first 2 singles.
Right.
And the newest one is Newspeak, and then they also had Every Now and Then. Both are videos you should check out. Both are very cool. Newspeak is super cool video. We ended up talking about that at the end of the interview. You should definitely check that out because it's a really good. Man, that video is so cool too.
Yeah, very, very, very cool concept.
Cinematic, really awesome. But we haven't heard the record, and it was really cool to talk to them about what kind of musical direction the record took as opposed to their old stuff. So now I'm super excited to hear it, and if you're listening to this, you might have heard it already, or you could go hear it right now because it is out now.
Indeed. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here is Dear, D-E-A-R,
yes.
Dear Spring.
Now.
Fucking. Now. Fuck. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick time out. We want to tell you all about our awesome sponsor, Manscaped. Manscaped.com. We've been telling you about them since the beginning of the year. We've been users for years. But now they've put out the new Ultra Premium Collection. And what the Ultra Premium Collection includes is a 2-in-1 shampoo conditioner, a body wash, a hydrating body spray, deodorant, and lip balm. And what you do is you go to the shopping cart.
Yep.
You put all your things in there.
Yep.
And when you're done, you use the promo code BACONPOD, and you get 20% off and free shipping.
I'm going to stop for 1 second, and I'm just going to let you guys know that I've actually been using this stuff for the last 2 weeks. I got my order 2 weeks ago, and I've been using it every day. And so I'm just going to give you a super fast review. The shampoo conditioner is awesome. My hair feels great. It doesn't feel dry. It's not loaded down. It's not weighted down. And it actually feels really good. The body wash is awesome. It lathers up really great. I use a very little bit of it. I'm kind of like a sponge guy, so I'll put it on the sponge, loofah, or whatever you want to call it. And it's awesome. The surprise for me has been the body spray. It's really awesome. I never used anything like that before. I got it and I was like, what's this gonna do? I'll tell you what, as a person with tattoos, man, my arms feel dry every now and then. And sometimes for you that have tattoos, you understand that like when it gets dry, you start to feel like a raised up area for where your tattoo was. This actually, it smells great and it feels great and it keeps you hydrated. My hands, my arms, my tattoos, that's what I've really used it on. I haven't done the whole body or anything like that. I do use all the other products. I use the crop preserver. I use the foot spray at night. I don't use it during the day because it
The
might
Reviver
leave your
as
feet
well
wet.
for a midday spritz.
Yeah, 100%.
That is not included in this, but
The wipes are key.
you can
all
use
that stuff.
Oh, here we go. We got the wipes too.
Yep.
You can use all this stuff, and you can get 20% off on all of these things. And of course, their flagship Lawnmower 4.0, which I was skeptical. I had the 3.0. They gave us a 4.0. I was like, how much better could it be?
It's better.
It's way better.
I've nicked my sack on the
0
3.0.
times.
And I've nicked my sack 0 times on the 4.0.
Right. So go ahead, go to manscaped.com, use the promo code BACONPOD, get 20% off, get free shipping, and support a really awesome brand that we believe in and support the show a little bit.
It's really good, guys. I don't care. If it's not good, I'd tell you because I don't care.
Right. So
it doesn't matter to me. But honestly, like, I'd use this stuff whether we had a discount or not. And I use our promo discount because that's what we have. So have the same discount that we do.
Indeed.
And go over to manscaped.com and use BaconPod as your discount.
Sweet.
Hey, welcome everybody. No, I didn't even.
Sultry.
Yeah. Hey, welcome everybody to Bacon Is My Podcast. Wow. Today, we have Washington, D.C. native band, Deer Spring. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
We got David, we've got Jonah, and we've got Martin. The whole band is here. What's going on, guys?
Bro, you forgot about Cam.
I said him first.
You said him first, man.
Oh,
we
my
missed
bad. I
that.
missed that.
Number one,
we got
bro.
David. We
Number
got
one.
Jonah. We got Marty.
No. You can't. He's a guitar player, and see what I noticed here is there's no bassist on hand. Correct.
Yeah, correct.
They're the least important anyway.
Yeah. This is true.
They're like an octave pedal. It's fine.
We have many friends who come and play the 4 strings and come and join us and help write and do other.
That's
cool
what tracks
stuff.
are for.
Yeah.
That's what
Is
the backing
that,
tracks are for. Yeah.
Is that a conscious choice for you guys to keep the decision making down to a manageable level, or is it we just haven't found the guy, or what's kind of the move there?
I think it's mostly that we started out as a 6-piece and we had 3 guitar players and a bass player, and the band kind of evolved over time, but it's always been the same people, including those 2 that aren't in the band anymore. So from time to time, one of the 2 of them comes over and plays bass when we play live. And then obviously, like when we are on tour and there's conflicts with their touring schedule, we'll run tracks and stuff. But Deer Spring is really like these members making music together, and that's kind of why we kept it that way.
Nice.
That's really
cool.
awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool. Like I like the conscious decision to just keep it those guys. Now, are those guys still involved in the writing process at all too?
Yeah, to an extent, yeah, for sure. But I mean, I'd say there's like an extended Deer Spring family that's kind of part of the writing process too. Like we've got, the producers that we've worked with on our last few records that have really helped. There's a studio that we always go to work out of, and due to run that, we're kind of always hearing what we're playing and chiming in and, contributing, and also sometimes like mixing our stuff. So I think the sound is really like the 4 of us, but then like we have like a whole family that contributes to everything. That's my answer though. Sorry guys, not trying to speak.
No. That's
that's
a good
true.
answer, Dave. Spot on.
Yeah, I like that. That's really cool, and that's what a lot of people kind of we talk to a lot of different people and stuff like that, and a lot of different bands and the writing process and things of that nature. And we've even brought on producers on the show, and it's amazing how people don't even realize that, like, when you go into a studio with a song, sometimes that producer will give you something that makes it completely different, just changes the whole course of the song. And how involved they are in the writing process, the
Other
sounds,
sets of
the extra nuances and things like that. Things of that nature is, they're huge with that.
With the latest song, the new Speak, the latest single, when we were working with Nick Brucesi of Man Overboard, we brought him the demo, and he was like, "This song doesn't have a chorus," and we were like, "This is the chorus. It's showing, He was like, "Nah, it's not a chorus. We need a chorus." And now when I hear it, I'm like, "Oh my God, it's so obvious. It's so obvious that there wasn't a chorus, and we needed this like straight middle of the road like chorus to be like the big theme of the song." And it's so funny, just even with the 4 of us like writing and working so hard on these demos, that we just didn't see it.
What's crazy?
I
When
had
you're
to
so
walk
close
across
to
the
it, right?
street. I was so upset. I was like, "That's the fucking chorus, man. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm gonna go get another iced coffee and try to walk it off." And then I came back and like you guys had some chords, and I was like, "God damn it, that's a chorus for sure." Yeah,
They're right. Shit.
Catchy as fuck.
Isn't that crazy?
Everything's
though,
got to
how,
be
like,
catchy as fuck.
when everybody's so like their heads are so in it, you almost can't even look at it like it's anything other than what you're looking at. You know, you need somebody else to come in and go, did you even know that this makes no sense here? Or you don't have, you're like, well, how do you like the bridge? And you're like, there isn't one. Why? What are you doing? You just stop.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
What's a Deer Spring songwriting process like? Is it? I mean, especially with the pandemic, you know, everybody kind of adjusted and changed things and whatever. So is it 4 guys getting into a room and bashing out some chords, or is it, hey, I've got a demo done, somebody records something and brings it to everybody? We have guys that have even just, they throw a fucking Google Drive up and they just throw files, and they'll just cycle things out. Okay, write on this, and they chop it up and everything. So what's your guys' process like?
Well, yeah, our process is definitely the latter of like the second option, that we have the luxury that most of us in the band are actually engineers. So
nice.
we're all like been writing and recording this stuff until our single Dumb Luck. We were self-produced with everything. So most of the time it is like, you know, Dave has an idea and he has that verse, chorus, bridge kind of going, and he programs drums to it and sends it around, or Jonah does that, or I do that. And Cam will sometimes like record guitar riffs and then send those, and then I'll program drums to it. So it sort of is like, you know, if someone has a pretty cohesive idea, and then other people contribute to it. And then when we actually do get together at my DC spot called Ivacoda, run by Ben Green, super sick spot where we just throw up mics around a practice setup and just like hash it out.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Martin, if you're so you're programming sometimes, you're programming drums to the things that everybody's sending you. My first record with my band, our drummer did that as well. Like when we were recording it, that's how he was writing out his drum parts. And then when we came into the studio, he was like, "Oh shit, I have to play this now." How many have you caught yourself in those things where you're just like, "Damn it, why did I do that?"
For sure. I always go super basic, like with my program drums, and I don't try to do anything super flashy when it comes to programming, so that I don't sort of like, because once you hear it like one way, then it's really hard to sort of backtrack and try to rewrite it. So I really keep it super. I pretty much intentionally don't even use toms when I program the drum beats for that specific reason, because I think every drummer has done that in the modern age, for sure.
That first time that you start trying to program something, you're like, I need more hands.
I do that. I do that to my drummer.
Or
constantly.
I was gonna say, if you're
it's fantastic.
I'm the drummer and you program stuff.
Yeah,
he's like, dude, I don't have a practice kit.
Yeah,
I saw you something playing. You're like, no.
I don't play drums, so whenever I demo stuff, it always ends up having some part in it where like the drummer is playing with 3 arms, and Marty's like, "Dude, chill out, man."
But that's
and what's
actually
incredible.
That's
like
cool sometimes. Yeah,
it is cool. It is cool. But what's cool is that I feel like anytime Marty sends around demos, the drums, like they might be the same GGD like sample kit or whatever, but it always sounds like a real drummer. Like, because you always you know what you're doing, like as an engineer, producer, and drummer. So it's like it's got the right feel to it. The velocities are right. You're not overcomplicating it. It's mixed like pretty good up front. And I'm always like, God damn it. I really got to take some drum.
We just maxed out the velocity
36.
So
Yeah.
Same.
Make sure that line is red.
Maximum velocity.
All the way up.
Kick,
Max it out.
Kick and snare, dark red. That's all you need.
There's one song on the Moments EP that we haven't announced yet, where the main chorus drum beat, I didn't even add anything. Dave programmed this beat, and he was kind of like, I don't know, and just like threw an idea out there, and he didn't think it made any sense at all. But I was like, that's sick. I never would have thought of that. Never in like a million years. And it was just really, it's cool. It like feels awkward to play, and it's like kind of dumb, but it sounds so cool. So it works,
gotta
you know,
be-
it goes both ways sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be the cool thing about writing the way that you guys do, and the way that kind of like you were bringing up that COVID kind of made a lot of us do, is you're getting ideas on what someone would think that you would be doing, and so you're having to look at it and go like, that's kind of what I would do, but not. So now I have to do it different, and it kind of helps you figure out new ways to play, which is pretty awesome. Like I've found that that's happened for me a few times. So that's got to be a cool experience as well, rather than like, you know, oh great, the singer gave me a drum part.
Yeah. Oh
Cool.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure that's
What
got to
song
be
was
like.
that, Marty? Marty, which song was it that you were talking about?
The last one, Empty Frames.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I was like, maybe it's Empty Frames. All right.
It is. Yeah.
I didn't even know he didn't
You didn't know
change
that.
anything. Yeah.
Nice.
That's great.
He's like, I've written a bunch of things that I think won't work.
Yeah. Pretty much
Which song was
everything.
this?
So one thing that I will say is the DC music scene is pretty awesome. And you know, like you guys, one of our buds, Rauli V, he loves you guys. And also, so like, I guess, so another friends of ours, Highwind, they from Jersey, they ended up having a cancellation in the DC area, and I hit up
Today.
a couple of like people in the DC area on Twitter, and like no seconds flat, everybody's like, oh yeah, we got something, let's do this. So
Yeah,
how do you
awesome.
that is super cool that you guys are like so welcoming and stuff like that, because I'll tell you what, in Long Island, besides us, none of us do that. So we'll get you a nice crowd, but yeah, fuck you guys, you're not gonna get on. But no, I mean, like, is that how the scene is in the DC area? Is it like as welcoming as it seems on, you know?
Yeah, I think what I'll just say is I think like the dudes in Deer Spring and in the community, the bands that are doing well, make an effort to support each other and like create an environment where you know, rock music is still happening and people are still showing up for it and supporting it and wanting it to be a thing. There are periods of time where DC was like the kingdom for that kind of music, especially like punk music, right?
Right.
I think it's definitely a conscious effort. I mean, the thing with Highwind, so glad that could work out. Like our buddies, you know, who play with us in Deer Spring wound up catching wind of that, helping them put that show together. Obviously, you know, there's a bunch of other great artists that we've been playing with for years. Omar and Rauli, that's his stage name, right? But like we've been playing with him for years, and I actually co-wrote some of the songs on that record, and helped produce some of that with him actually too. So like it's just like one big community, and I think like we've just learned over the years that like we're all just trying to, you know, make it and make this scene like a reality and support it, because without it, you know, playing lots of rooms with only bands there and, you know, people not really making time to come out and support live music, especially with the pandemic and everything. Not that we want to go down that rabbit hole. So it's like, it's really like you get as much out of it as you put into it. And it's not like it's like, you know, a selfish thing where like, oh yeah, we're helping other people out just because like we want to, you know, get favors back. But it's more like if there's no community, then there's like nothing for us all to be a part of.
Yeah, I think that's super important that people don't seem to understand sometimes until you're in it, that like nobody makes it or whatever that is in a vacuum. Like there's you can point back to any band that you've ever liked and say, okay, where did they come from? They aren't the only band that happened from where they're coming from. Like there was a scene there, and a number of people from that scene were working together, and they were putting on these great shows, and they were getting a lot of people out to see the shows. And it's always got to be a community effort, because it's like you rely on fans of music and fans of live music to be there, and one band isn't going to be able to do that. You know, like it's just impossible to do it that way. So I think it's pretty cool. Like I noticed it when I checked out the video for Every Now and Then, and you guys described it as like a love letter to the DC music scene, and seeing all the spots show up in the video and everything. It was cool, because it was like it was like, oh, I can kind of like run a parallel to venues here that we know and things like that, where it's like, oh, every place has their little scene, and there's for better or worse, there's a bunch of little scenes in that scene, but there's always that kind of like little core unit in a few of them that are working together and kind of realize that like, hey, let's make this fun and special for everyone, not just try and make it successful or whatever for us.
Do you guys find yourself booking with some of the same people and stuff like that? Because we get shit for it all the time. Like other bands, they're like, you book the same bill every time. It's like, well, well,
you want to play with your friends.
It works.
Right.
Yeah, that too.
Like,
but like locally, it's like, hey, it fucking works.
Right.
So we'll rotate in
we're
and
not
out
playing every week,
but like
we're always down to play with new bands. Like I'm always interested to see what new bands, because like believe it or not, like there are some really sick bands in the like DC, Baltimore, Maryland, Virginia area.
Okay, I don't believe you. Go on.
But with that being said, like there aren't that many. Like there are a bunch of great ones, but it's not like the scene here is like so huge that like any day of the week you can see 5 bands that are all like similar genres or like rock music that are popping off. Like I would say that like while there have been some amazing acts that have come from this area historically, and even today, great acts playing, like the ones that are like actually out there, like taking it seriously, like it's not like there's a huge long list, right? And so like for us, I think it's sort of like we want to play with the bands that are contributing to the scene, right? And like and part of it's also like these are the people that like get you, right? Like they understand what you're into. You're gonna have a lot of bands and like different things that you're into. Like we've been like DMing with a bunch of different bands just about like getting out on the road and trying to play new shows, and it's just crazy like what kind of interests you find out that you guys have in common. Like for example, Highwind, right? We started DMing with them. We're going to be playing some shows with them later this year, but we only just started talking to them like a month or so ago. And right off the bat, I was like, oh yeah, Kingdom Hearts. All right, we're obviously going to be friends. Like like right off the bat.
Hell yeah.
There's also an element of in DC, there's a bit of a struggle in terms of like venues post COVID. Unfortunately, there was like there are a couple places that closed down that were just real gut punches. They were like perfect size. We played there a bunch of times, had great relationships with them, and it feels a little bit like we're now that everyone's kind of comfortable playing shows again. Like everyone's sort of like, where's the next hot spot? Where's the spot?
Right. Yeah.
What's going to happen?
Did it feel like starting over at all for you guys in terms of that? Because I know, like, for me, it was like that very first time getting back on stage, it was almost like it was too emotional. It was just like, oh my God, I'm on stage.
Tough.
Like I was freaking out. But it was also, there was this like weird like pressure of like, God, it feels like we're like starting from nothing right now, even though you're not. You still you have people out there and you've got support, you've got other bands, and but like you said, some of those venues that like supported you are gone. So you're trying new venues now, and you're trying to work with new people now, and you're having to start over these relationships that you used to be able to just call or text or something and be like, hey, we're looking for a spot here, and they had a reputation with you, and now it's like this whole like new crop. Are you guys feeling that, or was it kind of like just kind of coming back into it and being able to jump right back in?
No, 100% felt that. I mean, it was a combination of different things too. I mean, there's the emotional side of it of being on stage, but then it's also like even trying to get the word out about the show. Earlier on when we were like coming back and easing into shows again, there still were a lot of people, friends of ours who loved seeing us play, who were still not comfortable, going into an indoor place to see shows. So it was, there were a lot of different factors from coming back from the pandemic that felt that way. And then there's also a piece of it where it felt a lot like, you're building momentum. Like that's always sort of the goal, is you want to keep building and building on stuff that you did. And then it just have 2 years where it's like, well, I guess we're going to stay on our couches. and you know, it's everything kind
Welcome
of
to my streaming online show.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, yeah, right.
Did you guys get into the streaming online stuff at all?
No, I mean, like I think we took time to do like a bit of a reinvention, which is what most people did, right?
Yeah.
No, none of us have OnlyFans, so don't try to find it.
Boo!
No, more of what we did was we were like, we never really done any recordings of any covers before. So like for fun, before we could meet up, we were like, why don't we try just doing like a couple of cover songs? Let's do it completely remotely. So like Cam bought like a little interface and like tracked all his guitars DI, and Marty like programmed all the drums, and I tracked guitars at my place and then reamped all the guitars. Marty tracked bass, Jonah recorded his own vocals, and then like we had fun with having a few of the songs sent to Marty to mix, a few of them sent to me to mix, and we put them out just like for fun for like a few months on I think a few of them are still on our Bandcamp, and that was like our first little exercise. And then right after that it was like, okay, let's write a record. Let's take this time and like write a record, redefine our sound, and like give another big push. And so like from my perspective, I think while it was, to like Jonah's point, like a bit of a like uphill battle with coming back from COVID, I also feel like incredibly lucky because I feel like it revitalized us more than it ever had in our career as a band. And like if you look at by the end, especially by the end of this year, if you look at what Deer Spring's done since 2020 versus what Deer Spring did before 2020, it just feels like we doubled our speed, doubled our focus, enhanced the value of our art, like everything. So
I do find
we never.
Oh, go ahead.
Everyone has the.
No, you go.
Yeah. I was gonna say it was kind of like to Dave's point. We almost had like a little bit of a hiatus, with the pandemic. There was a lot of uncertainty. We didn't know what to do as far as navigating. So that cover album or cover song set that we did, I just felt like. So Marty said this earlier that most of us are producers. I'm actually the one guy that's not a producer, but bless his heart, Marty was the one that actually taught me how to track everything appropriately, make sure the signal's right, everything. And that was the catalyzing moment, to Dave's point, of us feeling reinvigorated and re-inspired. So I just wanted to make sure that was said.
That's awesome.
Because honestly, that was
means until it's taken away.
Yeah, totally. We take things for granted sometimes, so it's awesome that we came back.
So you guys, for anybody who has not listened to Deer Spring before, they've got a lot of cool sounds. So like it's you've got some like 4 Years Strong, but then you've got some like legit metalcore stuff going, and you've got like there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
So I want to know what covers did you do?
Right. Yeah. How did you pick
those?
Because those are not on the Spotify.
No. Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, like there were some strategic decisions made with like what's up on Spotify, what's not. I'm sure you guys are in bands, so you know what it's like when you're like thinking about how do your plays reflect, and like also if something's in your top 5 and it's not one of your songs, like what does that look like, right? All of that stuff. But
it looks like paper cut for me, but go on.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it looks like Alien Ant Farm, but
I'll say the covers that are on our Bandcamp, I think right now, one is Quicksand by The Story So Far, which Jonah was really stoked about. I mean, we were all really stoked about it. And then the other one, which at the time seemed pretty fitting, is It's Dangerous Business Walking Out Your Front Door by Under Oath.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then we did a couple others. Marty, do you want to talk about those? Not to put you in the hot seat.
No, that's fine. Well, a couple of them sort of like didn't get fully finished. We did one by Thrice, which is like one of our main, like right in the center of our Venn
I was just
diagrams.
gonna say that's another sound I totally heard as well.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
And the other one was a brand new cover, and those two we were kind of like by the time this was wrapping up, we had kind of already started moving on to defining like what was going to be our next sound, like in our originals, and sort of getting some getting some outside advice and like some consulting on what we should do. So we kind of just didn't like fully see that through, but it was sort of at a time where we all felt like we were literally sitting on our hands and feeling really like anxious and afraid. It was like, it's what kept us busy at that time, you know, and it was like super important for sure.
Yeah.
So what Thrice songs was it? Because like
The Earth Will Shake off of Jisoo.
Great song.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't quite stick the vocals. It's just so hard to get that. Like there's like a crazy like church choir sound in there, and it was just so much going on. But I don't know. You know, it is one of those things where I feel like in a couple of years we could maybe come back to it.
One day we'll do that. But like Dustin does have kind of a unique voice, so
definitely,
it's definitely a challenge.
I was having to strain and like trying to do all these different things to get like close to it without just being like mimicking his voice, because like I wanted to do my own spin on it, you know. But
of course,
even then, it like the space that his vocals fill on that track is so perfectly fitting to the rest of the song and like what it is, that it just we were trying a lot of different things, and by the time we were getting close, we were just like, all right, but let's work on a record now.
Yes.
Didn't quite get finished. So.
One thing I will say about
smoke
that
enough
song.
cigarettes.
Right. This episode of Bacon is My Podcast is brought to you by drinkwildbills.com and grillyourassoff.com. Use promo code BACON to get 10% off your entire order.
Yeah, grilling season is never over, and you always want to quench your thirst, and why not do it with some craft-made beverages by Wild Bills.
The two work together pretty awesome.
Yeah, agreed. So go ahead, hit them up, check it out. It helps them, which are awesome companies, and it helps us.
It helps us, and it helps you.
And it helps you to
because you like
live a more flavorful life.
You like delicious things in your mouth.
Indeed. So do it now.
Do it.
One thing I will say, like, so for like that song, that record came out one of the first times I saw them live, and it was like a departure from artists in the ambulance.
Right.
Everybody just shit all over it when the song started, and I'm like, why? Why? What are you doing? And then the chorus hits, and everybody like started losing their fucking minds. It was Taste of Chaos, or what was it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I missed that tour. I loved that tour.
I loved
that. But then all of a sudden, because they were like, the guitar player's behind a keyboard. Fuck these guys. I'm like, what? Shut up.
I think that's an interesting thing to bring up too, because like I think when bands want to try to do something new and like different than what people are used to hearing, it can be like an uphill battle, and then sometimes that's what makes them as big as like the biggest thing ever. Like I know for Thrice, they had a core fan base and a lot of people that were like looking for that more post-hardcore sound from Artists in the Ambulance when Vishu came out and the other records. But then I think like they tapped into a whole new demographic of fans when they did the Alchemy Index, and they were on college radio and all of that stuff, and people, like you said, like they dabbled with it with a Vishu, but then people were like, what's with the keyboard sounds and all this like spacey like Radiohead stuff?
Play Paper Tigers.
Yeah, right. Like, I don't know, man. It's a
Thrice is the perfect example. Oh, sorry. Thrice is the perfect example of a band aging gracefully, and that's like all that anyone can hope for who plays music.
Has anybody
just like?
Have you guys heard the new single?
Oh,
yes.
Dude,
it's super fucking awesome. Yeah,
I've been listening to it nonstop. I love it.
It's fucking awesome. It's really great.
I mean, even the Scavengers acoustic song is pretty sick too.
Cool.
Yeah. It's cool.
So did you guys have any hesitation, or did you think about that when deciding on where you wanted to take your music and where you wanted to update your music? Were you kind of like, was that a nervous thing where you're like, are our fans that like us going to like it? Or were you like, fuck it, we're doing this, we're a band, we're musicians, we're artists, and chips fall where the chips fall?
Move forward, yeah.
I think I'll just say my quick response, and then you guys should answer, because I think we all have different feelings about it for sure. Moments was the first time I think we all were like really on the same page about wanting to go for a sound, like a cohesive sound.
Okay.
I think we've like always, that's always been a wish, right? But I think to your point, like what you were saying about our music before, if you listen to our records before this one, I think they're a little more genre all over the place. We kind of do that. That's kind of our thing, right? We draw from a bunch of different influences, and we're not afraid to sound like different genres on different songs. But I think with this record, what we tried to really do was do that, but do that in a way where you listen to the record and it's like, oh yeah, that all makes sense as one record and one sound, you know, even though they're in kind of different directions. So it was very much an intentional decision this time around, and it comes with risks. Definitely does. And I mean, you see it play out as the release cycle goes on. Certain things that maybe sound more like your older stuff just do really well at first, and then other things that are kind of a departure might be growers not showers, but you gotta just be you gotta be confident. One thing I know is I'm confident as hell in the art that we made, and I feel like it's super cohesive, so I think it was a huge step forward regardless of where the chips land, to your point.
That's awesome.
I think that's really cool. What I was wondering is, because you talked about making a record, and you guys are like making a record, but then that was post, like, coming out of the COVID-19 thing. But like during COVID, and just before COVID, so many people were approaching the music industry and releases as, let's do singles. Is that something that you guys kind of thought about doing, or did it just so happen that these songs kind of, like you said, they were cohesive, they belong together? Or did you go into this just saying, no, I'm not going to do the single thing? Obviously, you're releasing singles, but like, we need to make a record.
Mm-hmm.
Going into it, everybody, I think, had a different idea as far as where that was going to land. There were definitely some times where it was like, no, this is going to be like an EP. This is going to be a record. These songs work together. But as we were talking through like options for what we wanted to do for later, for releases or like, single releases and things, the idea of just releasing everything as a single came up. And there was a lot of consideration that we put around that. And at the end of the day, I think where we all landed was we didn't want to decide that before we were done. Like, we really wanted to just go in and let whatever we were trying to express through what we were writing come out in the studio, come out in the tracks. And then once we were done and we were looking at everything, then we could really make that decision. Because at that point, it's just like, how are people going to be introduced to it, right? How are we going to be sharing, the songs and things, and whether or not, oh yeah, no, these songs really work as a cohesive whole, or whether they work as individual singles. That question would answer itself when we were finished. Mm. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. Cool. Well, right now we actually have to pay some bills.
Right.
Nice.
You're going to help us.
Have to help us do that.
Right.
So we are sponsored. One of our gracious sponsors is Poddex, and what Poddex is, it's decks of cards, different decks of cards for people who are budding podcasters who don't have verbal diarrhea like we do, and they have a number of decks. Within each deck, there is 50 cards. Within each card, there is a question. So what we're going to have you guys do is each pick a deck and then pick a random card. So we have the episode deck. We've got interview deck 1, interview deck 2. We've got Would You Rather, What the Heck, and then the 2 brand new ones. The MTV branded, the old school What the Fuck deck. And then also the How Dare You deck. And if you pick this, you have to say it like that because Mr. Big Head from Rocco's Modern Life. So, Cam, we'll start with you. Which one of those decks would you like to pick from?
Well, I mean, I definitely was a fan of like the old school MTV days.
I knew it. I knew it.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
We got the
Dave.
Yes.
Which one are you going?
All right. I was like, I'll go with what was it? How dare you? Was that it?
I like it.
That was good. It was very guttural. I liked it.
Cool.
I liked
cool.
it. Okay.
And you can pick the same deck. You don't.
Yeah,
have
you
to
can
all
pick
do
the same
different
deck. So.
Oh, good,
Jonah,
good.
You said that there was a would you rather one?
There
There
absolutely
is.
is.
There is.
Give me that one. Mm-hmm.
All right, Martin. What about you, sir?
I got to go with MTV as well.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do something that we've never done before
Okay.
with the finger of power.
All right.
They're gonna both have to pick at the same time.
Oh shit.
Yes. All right.
All
So I'm gonna shuffle.
While he shuffles, I'm just going to let everybody that's listening know that you can go to poddex.com and check out all these sweet decks, bro. Sweet decks and all the cool stuff that you can get over there. They have some swag. They have new decks all the time. They have an app. They have all kinds of cool things that you can do over at poddex.com. If you decide you want to pick up anything, just use the promo code BACON.
Because everything is better with bacon.
And you can get 10% off your entire order. And it helps the show. We thank you very much. And yeah, it helps us keep this shit free.
Yeah. All right. So
Bam!
you know what? That was good. So since we're doing something for the first time, we'll do that last.
Okay. All right.
All right. So we're gonna go with the How Dare You deck.
How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you?
All right. So
All right.
we're gonna fan this out here.
Finger power starting on my left, going to my right, your right to your left. You tell me when to stop.
Stop.
All right. From the How Dare You deck. Where's the weirdest place that you've gone to the bathroom?
Is this for all of us or just the
No,
people? Who...
no,
Okay.
just for you.
Just for you.
For me. All right. Weirdest place I've gone to the bathroom. Okay.
And you have to tell us whether it was business or pleasure as well.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, I'll just say the weirdest place that I've gone to the bathroom was on the side of a road in the town Cadiz in southern Spain because I was there for Carnival, which is like Mardi Gras.
Nice. Yeah.
Yep.
And basically the streets there just become toilets on that day, and it's terrible, and everyone's peeing and shitting everywhere, and everyone's in costumes, and it's like Halloween plus Mardi Gras.
So it's just like Bourbon Street.
Yeah, well, it's like Bourbon Street, but like everyone's speaking Spanish, and it's like 4 a.m. the whole time, even though it could be a different time. That's what it's like. Yeah.
What was your
Nice.
costume? And was it easy to go to the bathroom in?
So it was easy to go to the bathroom too. It was I was Dexter, so I had like an
nice.
blood
All right.
splatter on it, which was cool.
Oh, the apron probably helped.
Nice.
Yeah, it shielded. I had to be careful not to piss on it. But,
Yeah.
But what was the weirdest part about it is like 4 feet from me was a guy selling hot dogs, so I like just got a hot dog right after too.
So you just tried to blend in?
I was just like pissing, looking over, just like, hey, can you throw another one on there for me?
Sweet dog.
Did you before you ate the hot dog?
Sweet dog, can I get a dog?
Sweet dog,
Before you
bro.
ate that hot dog, did you take a slit out of the top of it, like on the cheek at all?
Oh shit. No, I didn't. I should have done that.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
All right. Next time.
Yeah, but before
All right.
we're done, I have a question for you guys. If you stack 2 decks on top of each other, is that
Uh-huh.
technically one deck still, or is it 2 separate decks?
Pod decks, that's called a mess.
That is called a mess.
So we don't
All right.
do that.
All right.
I think they
But
count
cards-
as 2 decks because they have different cover art.
Right. So
Whereas if you have
Oh,
the
there you
same
go.
cover art, it becomes
Yeah.
one deck.
Because I'm just thinking,
if you
like,
got-
if you take 2
the number of
sandwiches
cards.
and
Right.
you put 2 sandwiches on top of each other, that's still a sandwich, right?
That's one
Oh,
sandwich.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Totally one sandwich.
For future reference, Dave, we asked the questions here.
All right.
Jonah,
How dare you?
yes.
There you go.
There we
There
go.
you go.
All right. Now you
I
can
have
Jonah.
to-
Yes, sir.
You're up, sir.
Oh.
finger power. My left to my right. Your right to your left. You tell me when to stop.
Stop!
Aggressive stop. I like it. All right. Jonah, at your funeral, what strange thing would you like to happen to lighten the mood?
Oh God! So this is a very wide subject matter that there are quite a few entries in. I'm gonna have to think on this for just a hot second.
All right.
Weird thing at the funeral. Okay.
You're gonna make people laugh. You're gonna gross them out. What are you doing? What's your move?
I think. No, this is so tough. So it's like I really want to play music, but kind of like we were talking about earlier about how you leave a diner. Like what's the song you put on as
Right.
you're leaving? Like
Yes.
the music that I would want to play is in that vein, so that it's literally just like the most abrasive music, or like terrible, or like for example, when there's a moment where there is supposed to be music, I'd be like, and here is John Cage's 4 minutes and 33 seconds, and just have everybody sit there in awkward silence, like whatever it is, like just the music selections, and you didn't ask because you didn't have to, but everything would be clipping. Everything.
Oh man.
All of the music is just the entire time. That would be it. That would be it.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow. I'll drink to that.
Yeah,
That's-
bravo. I like that a lot.
There you go.
Just don't invite me to your funeral.
I hope I don't.
Don't worry.
Does anyone
All right.
invite anyone?
Yeah.
All right.
Is it an
Yeah.
invitation?
I'm dead right
Invitation
now. Come
only.
over.
I feel like that's more of an obligation.
Oh. Well,
Here's a thing you should. Here's a thing you should do. Here's the address.
my uncle invited you.
Right.
My uncle's crazy.
is
He was
crazy.
crazy.
He was crazy. He was.
He was awesome though. All right, so
Way to make
Cam
it weird.
and Martin, yeah, way to go.
Way to make it weird.
Cam and Martin, you're both gonna choose.
Okay.
So when you say stop,
So I'll start from left to right. Can't you go first, and then we'll go from right to left, and Martin, you go second.
Okay. Stop.
Stopping right there. Pull
Yep.
that up. All right. Martin,
Stop.
stopping right there.
all righty.
All right. Martin, your question is first because it happens to be in my hand. What is something that literally everyone looks stupid doing?
Oh.
Playing drums.
Trying. I got it. Trying to scratch that itch on your back that's just out of reach.
Oh,
Yes.
you got to do it like a grizzly in the woods. You got to find something.
Yeah.
Just rub your
Yeah,
back on it.
It's when you try from that way and then the other way
Right.
and then that way again, and yeah. that's-
Dislocating
yeah.
your shoulder.
Oh my
Yep.
God, that's the worst when you kind of reach around
Yeah.
that way.
Mm-hmm.
Who said drumming? Because you're right. Because you're totally right.
I was just having a conversation with my drummer the other day, and he was like, "Why are there no one ever gets good photos of me when I'm drumming?" And I'm like, "That's
Because you're drumming.
You're moving too fast. You have to like stop. You have to do something and be like, and then someone will see your arm up and they go, "Oh, get a picture." But you're moving.
Marty,
too fast.
Marty, what's that thing you say about photographers at shows and drummers?
Oh man, you're putting me on the spot. I literally don't remember.
I feel like you're always like, drummers, are they even in the band?
Oh yeah. I have.
No,
said
there's
that
always a
before.
few shots of drummers. They're just never used because they're never good.
Yeah.
You got to be one of those
It's a
drummers
rough
that
position.
that drums with a fake smile on the entire time because you never know when someone's going to take a shot. So the whole
You
show, you're
do
just
know
like,
that. So you know that feeling though when you feel or see the photographer kind of sidestep, and you
Oh,
know
yeah.
that they're about to take some pictures of you right now, and you're like,
okay.
it's like then fix my posture and like try to have like a neutral face, but you know it's fucking impossible. It's just never gonna
See,
happen.
neutral face is I'm telling you, neutral face is the wrong move. And I tell my drummers this
Yeah.
all the time. I'm like, make the dumbest face as possible. Open your mouth as big as possible. Do every cliche weird thing. Point the drumstick at the like anything
Yeah.
dumb you can do.
Marty's
that's
like
gonna-
having an allergy attack to all of those suggestions.
That's going to get used. And you're going to be like, all right, it looks like I'm doing something at least.
Well-
Otherwise, every shot is this.
See, I'm super lucky because my drummer, his eyes go in 2 different directions.
That's true.
Question for Cam.
So I was gonna say before you start, your drummer is photogenic, then, right?
Yeah.
Clearly.
As long as you don't mind looking at people who look in 2 different directions, dead on.
It's okay, man.
That's right. It just
Makes
means
it-
you got to
makes it
take
easier
a
on
photo from the side. You can't take a photo from the front because he doesn't even know you're there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like a lizard.
Cameron, have you? Weird question. Have you ever eaten an
shit.
entire tube of Pringles by yourself? That's the
Oh
question.
yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
I
you say,
don't
what the
know.
fuck?
Who has it?
Oh,
That's a fucking
God.
question.
That's the fucking question.
No, man.
Who
Can
has
we
it?
select a different one? I mean, that's an easy.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
What are we,
what
like
is-
an
what is
indie
your,
band?
What is your flavor of choice, though?
So
'Cause I've got a hot take.
Okay.
Randomly graphics.
I like the cheddar and sour cream.
What the fuck?
I literally just picked the same question.
Cheddar and sour cream.
Oh damn!
Wait, so
Wow.
there's two cards.
No,
that
no.
have the
Same.
same
I threw it in.
We put it back in the deck, and I grabbed one random. It's the same fucking one.
Dude, you should be a magician.
mine-
Go to Vegas.
Mine is original.
That's your favorite?
Oh, interesting.
Vanilla, your favorite ice cream?
No.
Oh, you drink coffee black too. You're like
I do.
You're like, I don't like flavor.
I'm all about the black coffee. Yeah.
Oh, you guys
Maybe
are
you're-
nuts.
Dave gets it. Martin gets
Black
it.
coffee. Black
Yep.
coffee is good.
You guys are nuts.
Cam gets it too.
Crazy. What secret
love you guys.
conspiracy would you like to
Ooh.
start?
Oh, dude, this is not cool.
Oh,
This is not cool at all.
Jim, we finally found a question that's going to get clickbait for our
Perfect.
shows.
Don't lose your job, Cam.
I don't want to lose my job over this, dude.
Now I'm really interested. So give us choice B, and then off the air give us choice A, because I'm really need to know now.
Yeah.
ET is real.
ET is real. All right.
But no, it's got you.
You're gonna-
You got to
You're gonna start that one? You're gonna start
I don't-
that one?
And just leave it? I don't know.
Cat's out of the bag, dude.
Ouch.
I've seen that movie. It
weird.
exists.
The movie exists, yeah, dude.
Yeah. I totally agree. Have you
You're not
ever?
gonna
Have
go
you
with
ever?
birds aren't real or anything like
Birds
that?
aren't. That's one of my favorite ones.
Great.
No shit. I know a guy that like just accepts anyone that you tell him. Like anything
Yeah.
other than a rational explanation
Yeah.
does not work. That's the only thing that'll work. Like you give him something rational, he's like, nope, can't be that.
Yeah.
Like he was trying to tell me about the bird one, and he was like, have
Yeah.
you ever seen a baby pigeon? And I was like, yes, I have. My father raised pigeons. I was a child. They lay eggs. I've seen baby pigeons. And he was like, well,
The government. Yeah.
Fucking Hillary deep state.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
they're making fake birds in the deep state, man.
Oh my
They're
god,
making fake birds.
that's crazy.
You
So,
know, I live right down the street from Comet Ping Pong, which was the center of the
Yeah.
Pizzagate thing.
Pizzagate
Pizzagate,
bullshit.
yeah.
So crazy.
So
Dude, that's
Wow.
that's insanity.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
The only thing I do enjoy about that story is that the dude got to the pizza place
Yeah.
strapped and ready to go, and then had to have that moment where he was like, "Fuck."
Oh, I fucked up. Yeah.
So can I say something about that? So the guy
Yes.
walks in with the jean jacket on, and
Yeah.
then he's like an actor. In his
Right.
headshot, he's wearing the same jean jacket.
Oh, shit.
That's a
He's committed.
conspiracy.
That is
He's
a fucking
committed to the
conspiracy.
role.
So there you go.
See, so I think he's a bad actor.
there you go.
Oh.
Wow.
Shazam.
Hot takes. That's
Shazam.
that's what we do here.
Yeah.
So when we first got on,
Oh.
we were talking about throwing up the Batman stuff and everything like that. So what we want to try and get to all of you guys is this: what's your bacon is obviously a metaphor. Bacon is to us the thing in your life that makes it better, more interesting. Just I like to say more gooder.
More gooder. Yeah.
More good.
So
Your
when
life's
you guys
pretty good. That side dish comes in and you're like, fuck yeah.
So Becky sets up stuff for you guys. What are you not asked about enough? Like, what is the one thing that you want to be asked about that you can talk about just forever?
Well, I'll just say for me, this is so lame. It's like the lamest thing. Every interview we'll done
judge
so
you on
far, we get well, we'll see. Every interview we've done so far, we get the like, we're not going to ask you like what the meaning is behind your songs or like what you're inspired by or anything. And we put a lot of time and work and effort into the music video we just released, which was influenced by a bunch of different Chris Nolan films, mostly Memento and Tenet. And
good. I was going to ask
just
about
that style.
I felt some Memento in there.
And I think a lot of people have seen it and were like, cool. And like didn't think more about what's actually going on there because there's a lot of layers. So that's something I wish we got more questions about.
Cool, because I have a couple questions about it. So good.
Sick.
Yeah, and go ahead and ask him.
Well, I was gonna say, I was gonna say I don't want you to give away, like, I would hate to watch Memento and somebody what's going on, right? But totally. I was going to ask if Memento was part of the influence for that video, but like, what led you guys to go, this is the type of video we want to make. Here's where we want to take it, because it is a very layered video. I had to watch it like 3 times just to kind of start putting together what I was seeing.
Yeah. Just
to be like, okay, here's the story I'm seeing and here's where it's going and here's what's happening, which is awesome. Like, I love that shit. I love anything that that encourages me to watch or listen to it again. And I like seeing something different the next time. Yes. So what you're saying is that was a super conscious effort going into
100%.
Was that
what I'm saying is you are our people, if that's where your head went, because that's 100% like, it was not a mistake. It was 6 months of planning and storyboarding and brainstorming and a lot of late night phone calls, and very much like, we didn't want to just make music. I think it's easy for a lot of bands these days to like make a video that looks cool and you play music in it and your band looks cool. And I'm not knocking anyone who does that, but to me, like, the whole thing is about creating art that like is interesting and goes beyond just, you know, the music. And I think for us, this was like a huge, at least for me, you know, my part in it, it was a huge realization of being able to create like what I call like a real work of art and, you know, go beyond the music. So that was totally a super intentional thing.
Yeah, and this definitely took us out of our comfort zone. To Dave's point, like, we, you know, made a few performance-based videos, but we really wanted to do something, and Martin, just killed it. He killed it.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, you were excellent leading man in the video. That was a really good job.
I've never done anything like that, and it was really, I mean, it was a fun experience, but it does make you a little bit nervous because you're like, oh man, in that moment, it is like up to you, and I don't know, when you haven't done it before, and like you just worried if it's how you feel is actually going to translate onto the final product, and working on this like storyline and having the right videographer like Carter for Carter Lou Shoots. Huge shout out to him. He's like amazing. The end product was so exactly like the feelings and like what I saw in my head, cool. what we all discussed. It was just like, it just followed through so well. So I'm super happy to hear. Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to hear that you haven't had any experience with anything that before, because I was going to ask that, because so much of it could have been overt in the way that you were like kind of being in the video, and you had a really good there was a really good like subtle performance to it that made made it
Yeah,
more
Marty.
serious.
Yeah.
No, it's true. It makes it, you take it more seriously. It would be
Jim-
really easy to do that video and come across like band guys doing a video. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And but the way you performed it and the way you did it, you just kind of caught up in the fact that it's you forget that like, oh, this is a guy in the band. Like you don't even think about that. You're just kind of like watching it like it's a cinematic thing, which I think is really cool.
Jim knows this.
Thanks,
He is an
Jimmy.
actor himself.
I am not an actor.
He's an
myself,
actor.
but I was thrown into a situation like that, and I was told a lot about subtlety, and so I was forced to kind of like really think about that a lot, and so I notice it now.
Well, that's something that I never like really asked you, and like, you know, you're telling them. It's like, so the movie he was in was Broke Down.
Right.
Wow.
Your band literally performed in the opening scene,
Yes.
right?
Oh,
That's
That's
how we
awesome.
got paid.
That's awesome.
That's
And
That's how we
then-
got paid.
Nice.
Yeah,
Our
and
music
then
was in it, and we got a full video, and I got to put my whole band in it.
but then
That's
the
amazing.
rest of the
Wait.
movie, you had to be not you.
Right.
Yes. How did you do that?
Poorly. I relied a lot on other actors who were better than me to carry me in situations, and I was roommating with the other lead opposite me, the villain of the film, and he helped me a lot because I sat with him for hours talking about how we were going to approach things, and I was like, yo man, just tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. Tell me when I suck. I don't want to be the thing that makes you guys look like you're in something shitty, and I'm definitely that thing here that could tank this, and because I have no experience, and so it was just, so when I noticed stuff like that, I'm just kind of like, oh man, you really like, excellent job, really really good. I was totally caught up in it. I also wanted to know how much thought went into picking the things that you were finding.
Yeah, that was Dave. Like in terms of choosing those items that were directly pulled out of, either directly or metaphorically pulled out from the lyrics themselves.
Okay,
And,
yeah, that was part of it too.
Yeah, and that's also one of the ways that Dave's really been stepping up generally on this record, is contributing lyrically. So it was like, you know, it was really like locked in with the theme and the lyrics.
That's awesome.
Nice. And if you're listening, yeah, we're all deliberately not telling you what's in this video because you need to go check it out. You absolutely need to go check it out. Go check it out now.
Yes.
Well,
Right now?
finish
Finish the
you
episode.
Pause this. Go check it out. 'Cause all this is fresh in your mind right now, and then come back to this and finish it because you're like, oh, I even like these guys better, and then you're back in.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. Cam, you're obviously the Batman guy.
Or what else?
I'm not.
What's your
I just
bacon,
want to tell
sir?
the world I'm not actually Batman, though.
Well, that's exactly what Batman would say.
What? You're embarrassing me. You're embarrassing Batman.
That is not what
Embarrass me
Batman
in
would
front
say.
of my Robin.
That would. Also, did Batman have this kind of beard? No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe
Hey,
you
man.
should.
If he would, it would be a glorious beard.
Exactly.
There you go.
He doesn't
Thank you,
in
boys.
Hollywood because they're fucked up in Hollywood and they don't like to show things the way they really are.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree.
Jonah, what about you? What is it that you're not asked about enough? Being the singer of a band, I feel like that's like comes with the territory.
You know, frankly, not enough people ask me what the greatest beverage that's ever been invented by mankind is. But we can
Oh,
save that
Jesus.
conversation for a different day. I don't know. I mean, I feel like a lot
Okay.
of times.
Let's go for Cliff Notes version.
Yeah, what's the
Just-
greatest?
Just what I want. Okay, what I want to do
Sorry,
here.
you're asking me about the elixir of
Wait.
youth, the greatest beverage invented by mankind, none other than Lipton Brisk Iced Tea. It's brisk, baby. It's the greatest friggin' thing. I could go on for way too long about why.
I used to love the old school brisk like claymation cartoons
Yeah.
It
So
was
that's for the-
so
for the
fucked
commercials?
up.
Yeah, Rocky.
Yeah,
those
dude.
were- those
with
were-
like
I've never seen an advertisement for Brisk and been like, cool. I've always been like, what the fuck? Like why did they
Yeah.
decide to do
and
this?
that's what ads should do.
agreed.
Exactly.
Yo, Lipton, where you at?
Where you
Yeah,
at?
yeah. Hit us up.
Man,
Linktree.com/reenacted.
I don't need any endorsement. Just give me like a brisk endorsement. I will die happy. Like, I swear to God, it's sugar
There
and
you
water.
go.
You can't go wrong. Anyways, so no, but like I feel like I get kind of spoiled in a lot of like times that we do interviews because like as vocalists, as frontman, they're always like, oh yeah, so like, what do you think about like what were you trying to do for this song? And I'm like, actually, those guys are the ones who all do it, you know, and like put the songs together. I just, you know, come in at the last minute, everything's done, and they're just like, all right, sing on it. And I'm like, okay. So I just like come up and I like, you know, write all the lyrics. But yeah, I don't know. It's like trying to think. Well, I guess one of the things that I'm not asked about a lot is like techniques that I use while singing, because there's like I guess the voice as an instrument is very much holistic in terms of like your body and taking care of it.
Yeah.
And I know that like there's a lot of different people that have different warm-ups or techniques, things that they do to get ready when they're singing. And it really runs the gambit of being like as strict as possible. Like, this is how people have been doing it for hundreds of years, to like the absolute crazy of like, I can't sing until I have my sandbox in the studio and it's filled up 3/4 with finely grained sand and I can feel it on my naked toes. Like, there's literally like, it goes right. You know, really nuts like that. But
you've read David Lee Roth's book.
But yeah, and a lot of it, I don't know, a lot of it changes for me. Like I play other like guitar, and I played other different instruments, and usually when I'm getting ready for a show, it's always the same. Like, I'm always like doing similar warm-ups, like getting certain things ready. But for vocals, it really does vary a lot in terms of like how I'll get ready for a show, depending on how my voice sounds. Going into the studio, I have a particular like bunch of foods that I like to bring to eat. And people always give me shit for it because it's hilarious. I look like I'm in like, I don't know, middle school or something.
Right.
I usually,
pizza?
it's way worse.
Weird.
Way worse. I come in with a Milky Way candy bar, a whole milk. Like I need all the fat in there. And I don't know, like sometimes alcohol is part of that. But the Milky Way, man, can't sing without my
that's
Milky
crazy.
Way bars.
You talk to so many singers that are like that are like no dairy, no this, no that. Like you were saying, everybody's got those rules. I'm a vocal instructor and for a school of rock, so I go through all this. And I'm like, everybody's different. Some people, I know people that eat pizza before they go on stage, and they're absolutely fine. And then I know that like when I've been on tour and they give you free pizza, I'm like, man, I can't. Peeling cheese off, going, this sucks.
Yeah, it's so like physical, you know. It's like what gives you heartburn. You don't want to eat
right.
You get on,
and
know?
You can't.
I literally
throw up.
I can't eat anything 8 hours before.
Yeah,
I do 6 hours before, 100%.
Yeah, he won't eat.
It's so bad. I got better. Like my wife. So like eventually, like especially because we were playing later more recently, and she's just like, you have to do something. You have to eat something.
Right.
You have to have something in your stomach. You're going to be drinking beer or Jameson or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So peanut butter and jellies I can keep down.
Ooh.
So that's like 6-7 hours, like you said, Jonah. Like,
dude, I get to the show, I'll eat some wings, I'll have some whiskey, get on stage.
I don't know. Man, that's
it's
it
just it varies. I think that stuff is so interesting though, because like it's so loosey goosey. You know, it really is all about the expression and like how you're feeling getting ready for it. So I just love hearing the stories of like all these different people. I'll never forget the last bit I'll say about this. But when I was in my undergraduate years, I was taking a jazz vocal class. It was like one of the first things that I ever did. And the teacher gets up in front of the class. She asks the entire class. She goes, "All right, everyone, tell me what jazz is about." And, you know, a bunch of people raised their hands, much better students than me, and just like, you know, giving these, it was a combination of blues and like, you know, a bunch of people like merging musical styles. And it's like, good answer, not the answer I'm looking for. Like, it's better. And nobody was getting it. So eventually she just goes, "Sex! If you're not singing about sex, you're not singing about sex." And I was like, well, okay, I guess that's kind of that. But I mean, it goes more to the point. It's about what you're feeling. It's about what the song is actually about and what you physically need to prepare. And as long as you feel in a good space when you get on stage and you're grabbing your microphone, you're doing everything right.
Do you have a like if you had to give one bit of like singing for a live show advice that you see people do that probably get in the way of what they're doing? Do you have one? I know a lot of singers do.
Like people who are worrying about like something that'll like mess up their singing too much,
Or yeah, just whatever, like any kind of thing where you just notice it a lot from singers and you're like, if you just thought about this.
Yeah.
Jonah, actually, the thing that you gave me feedback on one time.
Yeah, well, and so it's interesting because it's like singing in different capacities, right? Because like in Dear Spring, I just have a microphone, but then we also got Cam and Dave who have mics in front when they're playing and singing. And so one particular thing I always tell musicians who play an instrument and sing as well, I see this a lot. Keep your feet planted. I can't tell you how many times I'll see people go up to a mic and they're up on their tippy toes or something, or they're kind of like scrunched up. But when you're singing,
you got no
you
power
want
to come from.
Exactly. All that power comes from basically, your abdomen, and your abdomen does nothing if you're not planted solid on the ground.
That's good advice.
And even if you're just, a front man and you just have the microphone, like have fun, jump around, dance and stuff. But when you're singing, keep that planted, keep it locked. Yeah.
Great advice. Good advice.
For sure.
All right. I tell people all the time, just remember one thing, any water that you take on stage is not going anywhere near you to hydrate you at all for 25 minutes. Right? Our body's really good at keeping water away from where we make sound. Otherwise we would drown. So drink your water before you go on stage, because when you're going, oh, I'm dry, you're fucked. It's too late. You're done.
Yep. Very true.
Before we wrap up,
we didn't give Martin a chance. Yeah. Oh, I thought you were wrapping up.
No. I'm saying before. I said before we wrap up.
I jumped the gun, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everyone involved here. It's hashtag professional. Hashtag
Thank you.
Martin, what about you? What is something that you wish that you were asked more on interviews?
Yeah, I've been like, just going through different versions of answers, had a lot of time to think of it. And it's hard because, to be honest, I haven't been asked many questions. Like, there haven't been that many interviews.
Well, drummers don't matter that much. You're click above the bass player.
Yeah. I guess
I'm totally kidding, by the way.
Well,
You're definitely like the most important part besides Jonah.
Yeah.
So.
The most important part of the band.
Yeah, I guess what we haven't really been asked about yet is sort of like outside of music, like what we do like with our lives that really benefits the band that might not be related to music.
Yeah.
So yeah, like for me, that's like I'm a high school music teacher and I teach music production, and it's a really awesome job, but it really helps me keep my axe sharp. Like I'm playing music every day, and like I'm kind of like steeped in the fundamentals constantly, working with high school students. But having that job really also like, I'm able to like have a life that's I'm able to be a musician and have a very like structured 9-to-5 life, which really keeps me like healthy. I'm like really passionate about like exercise and like eating right. And a couple of those things have been like recent, like circa the pandemic or just before. And that's really like for my own ability to like be involved and to be like a better drummer, to be a better like bandmate. Those are all like super critical, like just making sure that my life has like order and like peace routine outside of the band, that's and routine how important
is like super important.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Did you find when you started teaching that there were any specific like music, whether they be fundamentals or theories or things that because you had to go back and explain them and teach them, you got a completely different and better understanding of them? Because I know that happened to me the minute I started teaching.
Absolutely. Particularly with like arrangements and like chords, like writing different chord progressions. And just sort of like going back to basics, analyzing like just classic Beatles and Rolling Stones, like chord progressions. And getting just a better understanding of that has like, translated into writing music for sure. Definitely. Just being, again, like sort of grounded in those basics constantly. And you're like, man, everyone's working with pretty much 7 notes, 7 chords. Everyone's playing 4 beats per measure, unless you're like fancy and 6/8 or whatever,
That's your tool.
1654, man. 1654, man.
But I absolutely, that was my experience for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's awesome.
Interesting. Yeah, I had the same exact thing.
That is awesome. All right, guys. So we've taken up a lot of your time. This is a nice long episode for all of our consumers here. But before we sign off, please let everybody know where they can find all things Deer Spring.
Just go to www.linktree.com/deerspring. That's deer with DEAR, not DEER. We are not animals in the woods. We are writing a ginger note to the season spring. So Deer Spring. And you can find all of tickets for upcoming shows, our music videos, our Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, everything. We're pretty much Deer Spring DC on every platform.
Awesome. Everybody check out the new single, Newspeak. They recently signed Open Ears Records. Can't wait for the album.
Thank you, guys.
When do we have a date? Do we have a release date?
June 3rd. It's coming up.
June 3rd. Awesome.
All right.
Yeah. Will this be out?
Yeah, this will be out.
Oh, shit. So get it now.
Nice.
Get it now.
Check it out.
So jump on.
Do it.
Find them, share them, help the algorithm, because nobody can be heard unless you do.
Yeah.
Come
out to a
share
show.
the fuck out of it.
Come out to a show. Definitely come out to a show.
Thank you guys.
You guys stay in touch with us. Let us know when you're going to be in our area. We'll either be one of those bands that helps you set up a show out here. We'll do something together, or we'll definitely be there to support and hang out and all that kind of good stuff too. So everybody listening,
absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us, guys.
Thank you guys for being on. It's been awesome. And remember, everyone, to ask yourself the most important question every single day.
It's test time. It's test time.
Do you guys remember what the question is?
Where's that question?
Who is Batman?
Who is Batman?
What is Batman?
What is Batman?
What's your bacon?
What's your bacon is right.
Bacon?
Damn it.
Bacon,
But also,
my bacon is avocado. How about that?
Avocado's delicious.
I love avocado.
Yeah.
I like it smushed up and turned into guac.
I like
Even
it
though
too,
it's
but
extra.
it's not enough bacon for me.
Okay.
You ever put bacon in your guac?
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's
What
a
about-
special treat.
Wait. Another hot take. Replace mayo on a BLT with guacamole.
Oh,
Or
100%.
avocado.
Love it.
100%.
Love it.
100%.
100%.
Love it.
Get this, man.
Well done, everyone. We did it. We did it.
Absolutely.
Mic drop.
Ended on a good
Mic
note.
drop
Yeah.
on that. Yeah. Thank
And
you
that's
so
it,
much,
everyone.
guys.
Thank you very much. Have a good one. See you next time.
Peace out.
Do the things. Peace. And we're back.
And we've done it.
Yes.
Another interview in the books. Another conversation. Another cool hangout with a bunch of cool people. I really, really hope we get to play with them soon because
I do too.
I
I want to do a show with
I
them.
really do think that, like, I feel like them, Rauli V, Highwind, and us would be like a fucking killer bill,
Yes.
right? Like,
Yes.
like, I'll fucking open.
Me too. I don't care.
Like, I don't care.
I don't
Like,
care.
let's get them here
We know-
and
we
show
won't-
people what
we won't
great
open
music
here.
is.
But then when we go there, they can. Then we'll open.
No, I'll open here too. Get people there early.
Get people there.
But whatever. Like, these guys are fucking great.
Worth listening to.
Worth listening
Please
to.
go listen to them. And
Go
they're
listen
fun.
to the people that we pitch and then we keep on like supporting because like they're fucking good music. It's good music.
Bring them gnomes at their show.
Bring them gnomes at their show.
They'll know what's up.
And
I really hope people start doing that.
Yeah.
It would be
yeah.
so amazing.
You know what we need to do? We need to go buy some gnomes. But
You know what we need to do? We need to figure out a way to sell gnomes on our site.
yeah, let's get on.
We need to sell Bacon is My Podcast gnomes.
Yeah, you're the gnome. You're the
Yeah.
salesperson.
I'll get
So
on that.
like,
I'll figure that out.
we'll
I'll get on
figure that out. But in the meantime, Jimsy, till you figure that out, where
Yeah.
can they find you?
Well, while I'm figuring that out, you can find out all my other stuff On the socials, Jimmy G's Shoes. You can find me everywhere. My band Craving Strange is at cravingstrange.net. From there, you can find everything and anything that is Craving Strange. Check out our new music now on Spotify and all the sites. Please share, like, all that kind of stuff so that we beat the algorithm, or at least tie it. I don't know what we got to do. You can also find the two of us as one, just the two of us, making music in the room, in the danger room. Bacon's my passion. You can find us on Spotify and all the sites as well. We got a couple of songs out, maybe 3 by now. No, not 3 by now, but maybe.
No, we've got 3.
Maybe I mean 4. I was gonna say maybe 3 already, maybe 4 soon.
Yeah,
maybe 4 soon.
Let's go with that.
Check it out. Whenever you listen to this, we might have 10 out by now. Who knows when you listen to this? But
wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking. Always have wishful thinking. But check us out. Bacon is my passion on those sites. But that you can also find on baconismypodcast.com. What can we find there? You
can find swag. You can find the BIMP blog where we talk about like things and stuff and things in my brain. We leave do comments reviews
about how smart or dumb we are.
If you want to contribute,
please,
like, honestly,
please do.
We're not professional writers
at
all. So you can be a professional writer if you want to just like contribute. Just throw us an email, baconsmypodcast@gmail.com. Send us an article, something that's well thought out, well written. We will not stand for bad punctuation and bad spelling and bad grammar.
I don't want overly negative either. I don't want to hear your negative.
Yeah. I don't want to hear about.
We're positive. You can, you know what? There's a million places online where you can go be mad. This isn't one of them.
Right. That being said, let us know if you want to contribute. It's super cool. So you can get our sponsors, you can get our swag, you can get our music, you can get our socials at baconismypodcast.com.
There are links to all of our sponsors on there with our promo codes. Also, there is a link to our Patreon where if you're really feeling like you want to get into our nooks and crannies of our muffins, you can check us out on patreon.com/baconismypodcast, where we have commercial-free episodes, longer episodes. Our music is up there. We do live streams. We do watch-alongs. We have other shows where we eat horrible things, taste terrible things, where we cook delicious things.
Indeed.
All kinds of stuff. It runs the gamut.
Indeed. And then you can also find me, personally.
Yeah.
Personally, at my own self, Mike. I put all things Bacon is my podcast, my family, my awesome family, and my band.
Yeah.
Which is at Something Heavy Music. Something Heavy is available on all sorts of streaming platforms and all of the things, the gamut, if you will.
The gamut.
And
Deer Spring checked you out.
Yeah.
And they liked it.
Dave liked it. Dave
Yeah.
liked the screaming thing. He was like, oh yeah, and like it was funny because he brought it up. He was like, yeah, no, I checked your guys' stuff out and it was pretty cool. And the second he said the one thing that I thought was really cool, and I was like, well, there's Craving Strange.
Nope.
And he said something about the screaming, and I was like, they only have screaming in like 2 songs.
And it's you.
And it's me.
Both of those. So it's you, man. It's you.
So
it ain't always about me, bro. It ain't always about me, brosif.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to be...
Dude, your shit's kick-ass.
...recognized sometimes, I guess.
Goddamn right, man.
That's my bacon, I guess.
That is your bacon.
Being recognized
It should be your bacon. I recognize you. I recognize. Y'all better recognize.
That being said,
you don't need to recognize me at all.
Please,
if you don't.
Always remember to ask yourself one super duper
Yes.
Duper.
4 dupers? 6 dupers.
No, you missed
9
5.
9 dupers.
No, you missed 5.
7 dupers.
Lost count. What's your bacon?
What's your bacon?